I love the cookery of the beef. The puree of the sweet corn is delicious. The bone marrow is excellent, and it works very, very well.
I got inspiration from this dish from pairing different flavours together, which I know go together. I'm hoping it's something they haven't eaten before, really. So it's going to be quite interesting what they think about it. I'm going to do a pan-fried fillet steak with a miso sweet corn and a bone marrow, like remoulade, using like coriander. This is the kind of food I want to do. It's like French-English cuisine with an Asian twist on it.
What is it you love that inspires you about East meets West?
For me, I don't think it's really been done. I haven't really seen it in England before. I've seen a little bit of it, but I want to see how far I can push it.
Have you tried it the other way around? Have you taken Asian dishes like pad thai and put a Cornish pasty in it or anything like that?
No, it doesn't work. I'm afraid that doesn't work.
Fillet of beef is a prime cut and it needs special care because it's not surrounded in fat. This dish is about getting the balance right. The soy and the miso has got to work well. The coriander flavours can't be too strong.
He's adapting this dish to suit his style of cooking, and I like that. I think this could work.
Chefs, you have 30 minutes to go.
Now I need to pull out all of the stops, so I really need to kind of prove to them that the mistakes I made were just lack of knowledge rather than lack of cooking skills.
Matt, tell me all about your signature dish.
The dish is going to be baked halibut with scallops, poached in a tarragon butter, side of steamed mussels, pressed greens, and an old-style coral sauce, some Parmentier potatoes and some samphire.
OK.
And all of these different flavours and textures together all work?
They work. You've got sweetness, you know, from the cider, from the mussels. You get a tiny bit of bitterness come through from the coral sauce. I feel that I let myself down in the skills test. I was very, very nervous. Hopefully I can go forward and put that behind me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Matt's got poached scallops in butter, which is a nice idea. Brings out the best of a scallop. The sweetness will buttery at the same time. But if the butter gets too hot, it's going to be like rubber.
Matt is finishing the fillet of halibut in the oven. Perfect way to cook it. It's a beautiful fish, but you don't want to overcook it.
This dish is fairly complicated. I've got it down to pretty much on the hour. It's given me 15 minutes to plate it up. I love this dish because it shows Cornish produce and Italian techniques, and that's what I'm all about.
Josh, tell me all about your signature dish.
OK, so I'm doing a sous vide lamb rump. I'm serving that with ravioli, filled with ricotta, pecorino and roast garlic, broad beans, asparagus and salsa verde.
OK.
And the pasta's made with burnt wheat, so that kind of gives us a little subtle smokiness, hopefully.
OK, interesting. Not had that before.
When you serve pasta in your restaurant, do you ever serve it with a piece of meat?
Never. No, the Italians, I was cooking this dish for some Italians, actually, and they were saying, yeah, it's quite strange having ravioli and lamb, but I think it goes quite well. My family likes it.
I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you.
Josh's pasta needs to be al dente, firm enough to hold the mix, but thin enough that it's just going to break away when you eat it. And I'm really curious about this special Italian burnt flour. Are we going to be able to taste this? Because I really want to try it.
Josh's rump of lamb is put into the sous vide machine. He's going to caramelise it in the pan as well, just to get some beautiful roasted flavour. I've never had rump of lamb with pasta parcels before. I'm not 100% sure whether this will work or not.
You have 15 minutes left.
This dish is one of those dishes that can go all wrong or go absolutely perfect. So I need to keep calm before I get too excited and too competitive.
Alex, tell us about your dish.
So I'm going to serve pigeon and duck mousse inside a crispy cigar. Serve with celeriac, hazelnut crumb and a medjool date sauce.
Nice. Can you tell us where the inspiration of this dish has come from?
So I've always liked cooking game birds and pigeons, them sort of things. I think we've got bold flavours going through. We've got a lot of textures as well. When it all comes together, I think it'd be a brilliant dish.
So what are your ambitions?
I'd love to be a head chef of a Michelin-star restaurant one day. It'd be amazing. That's the dream.
Alex is cooking pigeon today, and that beautiful pastry crisp filled with pigeon and duck mousse. Quite a skillful thing to get right. What a time to show it.
There is a huge amount of risk here. It's about the cooking of the pigeon, making sure it's spot on. But Alex looks confident. This is his style of cooking.
You have got 5 minutes left. "60 seconds. Josh, doesn't seem to be much on that plate, chef. Time's up. Stop. Well done, chefs.
Matt has served baked halibut, butter poached scallops, pressed greens, parmentier potatoes, cider steamed mussels, a squid ink tuile, and a sauce made from the coral of the scallops.
The fish for me is overcooked for my liking. I love the parmentier potatoes, and I'd want more of this sauce because I'm not getting the depth of the coral, which is a real shame. It's nice, but I wanted to be completely blown away from your cooking today.
Matt, you've got a lot of ingredients that should all come together, but they don't. An individual piece of fish with some spinach, some mussels and scallop, and nothing binds this dish together.
It could have worked. However, the lovely things that I tasted there, those mussels and that sauce, just aren't enough of them.
Just didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go today, so a little bit disappointed.
Luke has served pan-fried fillet of beef, a coriander salsa, miso sweet corn, burnt baby corn, glazed bone marrow, crispy onion rings, and a miso and rice wine jus.
Very, very interesting looking dish.
I love the cookery of the beef. The puree of the sweet corn is delicious. The bone marrow is excellent, and it works very, very well. But having said that, what's running through this dish that I don't like, there's a sweetness to it. And it sits within the sauce for me, and it doesn't complement the dish at all.
I love the sweet corn. I love your sticky sauce. I love the way you cook the beef. I think it's great. The bone marrow just felt odd. Bone marrow is beef flavour pumped up, and although cooked well, it seemed really odd to get sweetness and then real beefiness. It was just unusual.
I have enjoyed the flavours I have here. Coriander, the sweet corn, and the beef is cooked wonderfully. There's just too much miso everywhere on the plate that it's so strong. So I think a little less of the miso, but otherwise, not a bad start, Luke.
I think with the dish I did, it's quite challenging to suit everyone's palate. Hopefully I'll make more, friends and enemies.
Lawrence? Delicious. Absolutely delicious. The egg, it's beautiful, it's rich, it's velvety, the yolk is absolutely incredible, the lardo on top is genius. Love the acidity to your white wine velouté and the freshness and the acid running through the cockles, the pickling of them. Fantastic.
23-year-old Matthew, who is a head chef of a Mayfair restaurant, had a strong start to the competition.
I'd love to plan, and I feel a lot more comfortable producing a dish, which I've done a few times, so I think it's going to be very tough today.
Hey, Matthew, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You look a little nervous today.
I am. I'm actually extremely nervous. Obviously, this competition means everything to me, and I really want to do well, so that's obviously why I'm feeling like this.
What are you cooking?
So I'm going to do mango parfait. Obviously, with the eggs, I'm going to do white chocolate mousse, some fresh mango, some pistachio.
Wow, no wonder you're nervous. Parfait, really? You're going to have to go some to get that frozen down quickly.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe doing Italian meringue as well, but time permitting.
OK, good luck, Matthew. You've got a lot of work to do.
Thank you.
Good luck, Matthew.
This parfait has got to be frozen for this to work, and I want to taste the mango flavour coming through that. The mousse has got to be whipped up enough that it's going to hold its form. The Italian meringue, it's all about getting the temperature right on that sugar before he starts folding it into his whisked egg whites.
Chefs, you're halfway.
Ollie is a head chef at a country house hotel in Yorkshire. His ambitious seafood signature dish was let down by an undercooked Dover sole.
Gonna come back fighting today. I took a bit of a bruising. I think it'd be really nice to be able to put a dish out that ends up being a star dish and that I can sort of sail through on instead of just scraping through.
So tell me, which eggs have you chosen and how are you using them?
I've done a custard with a hen's egg with a parmesan and truffle through it. And with the duck egg, I'm going to make an egg mixture, which I'm going to cook eggy bread in.
Are you going to give us something quite modern? It's a modern take. I'm not just going to get a piece of bread that's been dunked in mixed egg, am I?
I'm going to do it with mushrooms. I've got a couple of variations of mushrooms, some fresh truffle, some set powder, a couple of little garlic chives, and I've done a Madeira reduction as well.
Curious how it's going to look on the plate, Ollie, but it sounds divine.
Brilliant.
This sounds like a luxurious brunch dish being elevated with the use of truffles and lovely mushrooms. Love eggy bread. We have a custard made of parmesan and hen's eggs. I want to be able to taste the parmesan coming through from this custard.
Simon is a sous chef at a Two Rosette restaurant in Newcastle. He excited the judges with his signature turbot dish.
Being here and in the thick of it really does give you a sort of thirst to progress. It's time to try and compete with the big lads here, I guess. Today I'm going to be doing devilled quail's eggs, a lovage and wasabi hollandaise. I'm also going to be doing some asparagus, baby carrots, different texture beetroot. I'm going to be using ouzo, mirin, different flavours.
Do you think there's enough egg in this dish?
Yes, chef. I think once I get the hollandaise on there with the quail's eggs, I think that'll be a nice finish to the dish and you'll be able to really see the egg.
I'm looking forward to tasting the devilled breadcrumb that goes around the quail egg. You need to be very careful with the quantity of wasabi with this dish because you don't want it to be too hot. But I'm not 100% sure. He's going to need a lot of those beautiful little ingredients to make this into a dish.
Chefs, you have 25 minutes left.
25-year-old Lawrence is a junior sous chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant. He excelled in his heat with a standout mackerel dish.
I'm a perfectionist in my food. I want to be the best on the day, every day. Getting a dish perfect the first time is pretty much impossible, but I'm going to give it my best shot today. So I'm doing a slow-cooked hen's egg with a white wine velouté. I've got some asparagus, girolles, pickled cockles, a little bit of bacon in there. So it's quite simple, but hopefully the egg will stand out as the main ingredient.
How long are you cooking the eggs?
45 minutes.
What temperature are you cooking the egg in?
65. I think the slow-cooked egg gives it a fantastic texture, and hopefully it will shine through as the star of the dish.
It's a big risk for Lawrence to cook the egg the way he has now because he's got to wait a full 45 minutes before he will know if this egg is going to work.
The white wine velouté will lift this dish. I want it to have a beautiful texture, a little touch of acid coming from the wine. It's got to be just right. Four minutes left. Come on, let's go.
You have 30 seconds left. If it needs to be on the plate, be quick.
That's it. Stop cooking. Simon, step back from your bench.
First up is Lawrence, who is serving a slow-cooked hen's egg topped with truffle and sliced lardo or pig's fat, asparagus, radish, crouton, pancetta, and pickled clams. Finished with a white wine veloute.
That looks beautiful, Lawrence.
Lawrence. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. The egg, it's beautiful, it's rich, it's velvety, the yolk is absolutely incredible, the lardo on top is genius. Love the acidity to your white wine veloute and the freshness and the acid running through the cockles, the pickling of them. Fantastic. That's a solid piece of cookery at the highest level.
Lawrence, the brief was to use the egg as a key element to the dish here, and you have done that. It's an absolute joy to eat this plate of food.
I'm over the moon. Can't stop smiling.
Think any better than that?
Once again, brother, smashed it. Good work.
A little bit overwhelmed. No negative feedback, really. So it's just fantastic.
Simon has made devilled or spiced quail's eggs, a selection of vegetables including asparagus, pickled beetroot, heritage carrot, radish and girolles, with a pear and radish emulsion, finished with a wasabi and lovage hollandaise.
The vegetables are nicely cooked, they are well seasoned, they've all got their own little textures and flavours. The little devilled quail's egg is delicious. There is a heat in there that I wasn't expecting. I thought the heat would be in the wasabi hollandaise, but that's also very good. But this should have been a dish about the quail egg and the hollandaise, and everything else was part of it. In fact, it's the other way around. It lacks a central egg idea, and I think what you should have done is focus more on the egg and put the vegetable garnish around it.
It sort of reminds me of something when I'm in France at my husband's grandmother's house, and we're sitting around the table and we have a selection of vegetables and we're just dipping it in hollandaise. You know, it's nice, but I want more than nice here.
I cooked what I believed would be good, and it was all cooked well, but just didn't quite hit the brief.
I like this chicken dish. You've taken the best bit, the breast, you've cooked it incredibly well. It's got great flavour, it's got great skill, beautifully executed. Well done.
30 minutes to go. Half an hour. Come on, chefs.
So far, 23-year-old head chef Matthew has remained calm under pressure and delivered some outstanding food.
What is your dish?
So I've got an ox cheek, which I'm braising down with broccoli puree, and then I'm going to do a roasted piece of broccoli with some Caesar dressing, toasted hazelnuts, some fresh parmesan. I'm going to do a pomme dauphine. So it's equal parts choux pastry and dry mash with a little bit of egg yolk through there. I'm going to flavour mine with confit shallot, maybe some Stilton to go with the broccoli and the beef, and then I'm going to quenelle it and fry it in the fryer.
Yeah, it comes out like a really light, fluffy mash with a crispy top.
Should do, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
You're actually balancing quite a few big flavours here.
Yeah, obviously we're the final best 12 chefs in the competition, so you've got to do something a little special to stand out, I think.
Matthew's cooking the ox cheek in the pressure cooker. He's got to have enough liquid in there to cook and reduce at the same time to hopefully make a sauce to go with it. The ox cheek has got to be cooked enough that it still holds, but should just fall apart when you cut into it.
What I'm excited about with Matthew's dish is the pomme dauphine. Pomme dauphine is all about a great potato puree. It's about beautiful sized quenelles, deep fried, crispy on the outside, and beautiful, light and aerated in the centre. I've not had a pomme dauphine for a long time. I love them.
Listen, you have 9 minutes. Just 9 minutes. Don't get caught out.
The tension in this kitchen is immense. Our chefs have got their heads down. There are 8 places up for grabs, and there's not one cook in this kitchen who wants to cook again.
You've got less than 5 minutes.
What's happened?
The braising liquid inside the ox cheek is just slightly over-reduced and burnt. But luckily, I've got the sauce ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've took some out. The beef's fine, I'm just going to trim it.
Time's up. Your time is up. Thank you.
How was it?
Yeah, good.
Low down, low down. How was it?
First up is Michelle. She has served pan-roasted cod with a tempura courgette flowers stuffed with a cod and chervil mousse, pickled shallot rings, baby onions, rainbow chard, a lemon and juniper gel, and a clam beurre blanc.
I think the fish is perfectly cooked. It's beautiful. It's flaking away. You've got the crispy skin as well. Loving the cooking of the clams. They're not overcooked. But in the same time, remember to remove the sandbag off there so you don't get any of that grittiness through it.
I love the crispy courgette flour with the hint of cod, nicely seasoned. But you've also got real sharpness in those little pearls of onions and in that gel. I like that.
Michelle, it's nicely presented, but for me, the dish is flat. I want a little bit more seasoning, a little bit more flavour on the cod. The sauce is a little bit weak and bland. It doesn't pack any flavour. The mousse is a little bit on the firm side for me. I'm not excited by the dish, Michelle.
Feeling mixed. I don't know if I'm going to have to recook today. I'm, of course, hoping that I don't. I'm hoping that I've done enough.
Alex has served a roast chicken breast with pomme anna, baby button onions, burnt leek in a mushroom powder, pancetta and shiitake mushroom, chicken liver, a sep puree, potato crisps, and a chicken sauce.
I like this chicken dish. You've taken the best bit, the breast, you've cooked it incredibly well. It's got great flavour, it's got great skill, beautifully executed. Well done.
There are things on here I wouldn't ever have thought of doing. Liver with it. It's just lovely. The leek with the peppery powder. Seps and the chicken together is my favourite. The meatiness of that sep, I think, is delightful.
The pomme anna is a little star on a side. It's stunning. I think it's a great tasting plate of food.
I can breathe now after all that. Whew. To get those comments is just setting in slowly.
Matthew's dish is braised ox cheek, served with a Stilton pomme de fan, broccoli puree, roasted broccoli with a Caesar dressing, fresh parmesan and hazelnuts, parmesan crisps, and an ox cheek sauce.
How you've stopped that ox cheek from tasting burnt is pretty much a miracle for me. I'm really pleased you saved some sauce because the sauce is lovely and sweet and got a lovely texture to it. The ox cheek tastes great. You're a lucky boy.
That may be one of the nicest broccoli florets I've ever tasted, with little crispy bits as well, giving it an extra texture. I'm just amazed by not just the quality, the strength of that puree. Even eating a head of broccoli doesn't taste as much of broccoli as that does.
Pomme de fin, fantastic addition to this plate. There is a lot of skill to make a dish this refined.
I'm extremely relieved that everything didn't go completely wrong today. It was a very close shave with my beef. It would have destroyed me to see that 2 hours and 15 minutes go to waste.
Luke has pan-fried cod in pancetta oil, and served with a courgette puree, pomme soufflé, spring vegetables, blackberries, and a vermouth beurre blanc.
Nice presentation, Luke. Love the cookery of the asparagus, love the cookery of the cod, but where I'm getting a little bit confused here is the blackberries. I have no idea why they're there, because they don't, for me, work with cod and cream sauce.
I like the sweetness of the broad beans. A courgette puree doesn't bring a great deal of flavour, but it's a nice texture. I like it.
I've never had a crispy potato filled the way you've done it. Once you've filled it with something soft like that, they will tend to go soft very quick, but I quite like the idea. I like the vermouth going through the cream sauce. I would have stopped there. The blackberry doesn't work for me, I'm sorry, Luke.
I'm not overly confident at the moment. The competition's really strong and some of the dishes looked amazing, but who knows, it's still early days.
Mark has served rabbit saddle stuffed with offal and black pudding wrapped in bacon on a bed of chard, a Kiev tortellini with a sourdough crumb, onion and thyme puree, vegetable fricassee, and a sherry reduction.
There are some delicious things on that plate. I really like that meatiness of the offal. Your sauce, lovely, rich sweetness to it as well. I love that garlic that's coming out of your tortellini. But all of those flavours together, it's a little muddled.
I'm a bit disappointed in the cooking of the saddle. The actual rabbit itself inside is bland, it's under-seasoned. The tortellini is well made, but it's not giving me that excitement I was expecting when you sold it as a Kiev for me. Yeah, a taste of garlic on there, but I thought maybe more of that butter would really be more evident.
The sauce is very well made. I think your garnish is a little bit on the safe side. Some chard and some sauté mushrooms and a few broad beans. I was expecting a little bit more from you on the garnish, Mark.
It's the first negative comment I've really got, so it's more about how I respond from here. I think I will be cooking again, so it's a bit of like, get the energy levels up. There's no point in sitting back and moping around.
Dean's dish is braised octopus with a mushroom and smoked paprika powder, pistachio and lemon quinoa, a garnish of heritage carrots, tomato, broccoli, and spring onion, croutons, and a spiced tomato sauce.
Love the little croutons, love the quinoa. The tomato sauce is absolutely lovely. The cooking of the octopus is on the button. Best octopus dish I've eaten.
I like how this plate looks, Dean. I also like this powder that you've seasoned the side of the octopus with the mushroom and paprika, with saltiness coming through it, and the warmth, which is not too hot. It's a delight. It's light, it's not heavy, and it works very well together.
Wow, me personally, I think it's delicious and really clever.
To get a comment like that from Marcus saying the best octopus dish he's ever tried was hands down, you know, amazing.